Welcome to the ISB show. I'm your host Sahil here with Rahi. We've been covering a lot of regions, but one region we definitely need to cover, Rahi. It's been a minute, is Europe, and they have released, right, the Europe draw for the UEFA qualification for the World Cup, and something we need to talk about, want to talk about, love to talk about, Rahi. So let's get into it. Who do you want to talk about first?
Who should we talk about? There's a lot of teams we can talk about. The opportunity is vast this time around because, of course, this is a World Cup with more teams than ever before. And I think that means this particular team must qualify for this World Cup. It's a team with probably the greatest striker in the world right now. It's a team that has needed to refine some past glory. Who am I talking about? The former home of Tor Andre Flo. Who am I talking about?
Well, our good friends, we have some viewers out there from this country. And of course, we are talking about Norway. And we are here talking about Norway and, of course, their group. And we had said we were going to cover this to all your Norwegian fans out there when Haaland went out there and announced himself on the world stage, whatever that was, however many years ago. But Rahi, I just want to say this, he's actually had a little bit of a re-emergence in the last month or so, because that's the Haaland we all know and all love, right? He's back with those goals against West Ham and all that.
Yeah. Remember, he had a baby. How long ago was that? I think your first few months when you have a baby, you're not sleeping, getting used to the new schedule. Takes some time to adjust. It's Papa Haaland now. He's not just Erling. He's Papa at some point. So I don't know. Our Norwegian fans, please tell us what you call your fathers in Norway. Is it Papa? Is it something else? Because he's assumed a new role.
Yes. So we covered, obviously, the Norwegian National Team in depth in another video. For those of you who are enjoying these videos, please subscribe to the channel. But you can check out that video where we covered the team as a whole and went a little bit more in depth in the team. The focus of today's video is going to be about the qualifying group and can Norway qualify directly. We're not going to talk about the backdoor method of getting second right now. We're going to talk about solely, can they get first? So let's start off, right, with how the matches are positioned, Rahi, and then we're going to get into each of the different teams, because it's tricky, because they start off with away matches against Moldova, right? And then right after that, they go to an away match against Israel. Now, just one note, there's been a lot of stuff in the press about the Norwegian president saying, that I want UEFA to investigate Israel, and there were some rumors about Norway not playing the match against Israel. I think we can put that to bed. I believe. I don't think there's any of that's going to necessarily happen, but just something to note.
Yeah, I don't know. But let's assume at the moment that they play all these games, right? That they play all these opponents, and if they do, we know that one of those opponents, of course, is not determined yet. It's either Italy or Germany, and that's a huge difference, right? In my opinion, I think one's a lot easier than the other. And I think one's a much better matchup for Norway. And if one of these teams qualifies in this group, that's if it's Italy and not Germany, I think we are having a different conversation. That's a better opponent for Norway. But you're right. The conversation is, it's a weird schedule because they start off with the easier games first. I mean, there's no question these first two games they should walk through, right? I mean, do you disagree?
But here's the problem, right? When you have that match third, right? It's the Italy and Germany match, right? Is third. And Norway has a horrendous record against Germany, has only won one match, I believe, and lost a lot. And against Italy, not such a great record either. So that third match, we'll get to it in a second. But now you go on the road against Moldova and Israel, and you're almost forced to win those first matches away. And that's hard, right? It's a hard thing to do, because the way Norway's schedule is positioned, it's weird, because all of their matches, excluding the match against the toughest team in the group, are away. And then they get all their home matches at the end, right? But the thing is, you don't want to get behind in these campaigns,
Yeah, but on the other side of that is you could start off brilliantly, right? If you get those two victories on the road, which in theory you should, the players you have and the way they're playing, right? At this point, you can talk about Haaland back in form, Odegaard, a big part of what Arsenal's doing. Sander Berg's on a great Fulham team that's playing really well, right? And Antonio Nusa continues to emerge as a world class talent. So you have all these Ryersons playing well as well. So all these players, I think, are in a good moment. There's no reason why you shouldn't easily take care of business away to Moldova, away to Israel, wherever that game ends up being played.
Right.
Then you have every opportunity. The pressure's off against this Italy or Germany match. You don't have to get a result, but if you do, if you get a draw away to either of those opponents, I mean, you're effectively set up for a brilliant pathway that you could really take control of the group. So for me, I see it the other way. I see it as an advantage to have all the games at home on the back end, because I think you get it out of the way. And who knows? Who knows what you do against Italy or Germany?
So I agree with you, but the issue is because that game is at home, right? The Italy-Germany game is the home Norway match.
Oh,
right?
sorry.
So
The
you
first
got
one
you
is
got
the
the
home
two
game.
aways, and then you have the home match, right? So I agree with you. If you start off with 2 wins, right, then it's fantastic, because then you take that match at home, right, and then you're saying, okay, we already have these 2 wins, takes the pressure off. You can't slip up though in the away matches, because then there's so much pressure on this home match against the team, right? So that's why it's a very tricky schedule, I believe, for Norway. But what do you feel about the first 2 matches? Do you think it's Moldova? It's an interesting team. They had some good results against Poland in the European Championship qualifiers, but I think Norway should be aware of that going into that match.
Yeah, they should be. I mean, yes, Moldova has had some good moments, and they're an interesting team. They play well together. This might actually be a tougher game for Norway than the second game, I believe, because they're tough to break down at times, Moldova. Israel, on the other hand, I think concedes goals. So for me, it's going to be maybe the more difficult game, and also because it's the first game of World Cup qualifiers. But I don't see any problems. I don't see why they should have any problems. There's nobody on Moldova who could match up with the likes of Erling Haaland, right? There's nobody who can match up with now the all-time leading scorer for Norway. There's nobody who can run with Antonio Nusa. So long as these players are healthy, are available for this match, I don't see any problems in these first 2 games. I don't see why there should be. Norway has emerged on a different level now. Of course, they're in a different phase of the Nations League. They moved up a league as well. So I think they need to know that they're not in the same league as a Moldova or Israel anymore, and they need to show that. And I think they will.
Yeah, and Estonia, I think is also a team that Norway should breeze through. Okay, let's talk about it, because winning this group is going to entail nipping either Germany or Italy. Now the conversation shifts, Rahi. We've been talking about, and we kind of praised how good Norway's been right in this last campaign, and we talked about some of the nuances of how Østigård in the back and some of the other defenders have played, and then obviously Sander Berger. We said like how the outlet the ball directly to the strikers up front. What do you think about this? Because these are team. This is against a team that they have not had very much success against, in either of these cases.
Before we answer this question, you agree with me 100%. Norway will qualify for this World Cup. That Solbakken will do what Lars Lagerbäck could not, and they will qualify. Agreed there.
I agree 100%. I think they are going to get through.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So as long as we get past that, then I think yes. The answer is they can. And like I said, I think if Italy is the opponent, I see a very nice pathway for Norway to qualify. It's a physical mismatch then for the Italians. They do defend well, but the size and the height that the Norwegians have, along with the skilled players we talked about, makes it very interesting. Italy's a team that plays well together, but not the individual talent that a team like Germany has, right? Germany has some players that you have to really, really be careful of. And so then it becomes difficult, right? Jamal Musiala, for me, is one of the most exciting players in the world. Germany's a much tougher ask. Can they win the group? Yes. Will they win the group? I think if Italy's the opponent, yes.
Okay. Yeah, we haven't even talked about Sorloth and sort of what he's been doing this season as well, right? So I think, yes, I agree with you. I think if it is Italy, I do like Norway's chances, despite of the historical record and all that. I do like Norway's chances. Germany is a tough team to beat at this point in time. Can Norway do it? I think it's going to take an exceptional performance at home in that first match. And I think that's the time to really get them if that would be the case. And that's why those first 2 matches I think are so important. So if it's Germany, will I say that Norway will win the group? I'm gonna say yes. I am gonna say yes. I like where this Norwegian team is going, and even if it's Germany, the way I see it is I see both teams winning the matches at home,
Yeah.
and then somehow in the differentials or something they get through. So I think Norway will win this group.
Interesting. I don't see it if it's the Germans, but like I said with the Italians, I think the Swiss also demonstrated how you can really stifle the Italians. I think they did that in the Euros. I think the Norwegians can borrow a page from the Swiss playbook. I think they
Yep.
have a shot.
Okay, cool. Well, your fans out there, Norway fans, let us know what you guys think about the group. Let us know what you think about all the matchups and the way it's shaped up. Rahi, any final thoughts as we finish up here and continue our coverage of the UEFA World Cup qualifying?
Man, it'll be nice to see Norway back in a World Cup. I'm excited. It's been a while since the days of that incredible 98 was probably the best recent performance I can think of.
Yeah, I think so. There was, a couple things here and there where they showed some promise, in certain qualifying campaigns, but never got there. So we're excited to see if that happens for all of you. Go ahead.
If they get Brazil, if they get to the World Cup and they get Brazil, I'm betting big money on Norway against Brazil because they never lose to Brazil.
They have never lost to Brazil. I think the only nation out there who has never lost to Brazil. So exciting stuff for all you enjoying these videos. Please subscribe to the channel. See you all next time. Keep watching the beautiful game.